What is going on, you guys? It's another day here with JFBoosted, and not sure how the quality is for the front-facing camera on my iPhone, but yeah, this thing decided to take a little dump on me again, and I don't know how to explain this. I hope it's not the clutch, but I think it's my master slave that kind of went out of place, or my master slave cylinder, or within those components. I mean, the clutch was fine. It was good for up to 88 miles, and then out of nowhere it failed. And I'm starting to suspect that maybe it's not the clutch. So, well, maybe it's not the clutch for what's currently happening right now. I mean, the two other ones from Drift HQ. I mean, clutch sticks cracking. That's a different story. It has nothing to do with what's going on here. But so this right here is my 335i, and for those that have seen it before, it was actually Nardo gray. It looked ugly and was N54. Never had unreliable problems on my N54. It was actually always reliable. But you guys know, I kind of blew up my N54 putting 28 pounds of boost, and then I put another N54 in there, not knowing it had rod knock on startup after I did my full single turbo gift for it. And so I ended up with my LS swap 335i. So I could pop the hood in a bit, but actually let me go ahead and do that since I'm not going anywhere. But I got the, let me just show you all around first before I dive into the engine bay. But got right here, it's like a candy apple red color on there, or a candy red or a blood red. It's a wrap. It's not actually a paint, but I went with uh, the carbon caps for the side mirrors and 3 side skirts. I actually went with the M-Tech rear bumper since this was a 2007 model and it didn't come with the M-Tech bumper. So I had to get my 328i diffuser, but I did go with the single exit HKS Spec R. I also went with the CSL carbon fiber trunk and did a nice touch with it, going with the blood red wrap on the bottom of the trunk. Looks very nice indeed. I still have apexes all around. This of course are the 275 width, and it's the max tire width that you can go before you have to curl your fenders. So obviously the offset looks pretty garbage, and as well as the front, the offset. Am I even showing it to you guys? Yeah, I am. So also offset isn't the best either, but I do have F30 4-piston calipers on the front from an F30, of course. Looks pretty good. And then from my interior, I also have, gotta unlock it. I also have carbon fiber door cards. Not sure if you guys seen these before, but got the bucket seats. I do have my carbon trim pieces in my room. I just haven't replaced them yet because I have to deal with a lot of other bullshit. But yeah, pretty gutted and feels like a little go-kart. Pretty fun. I think I'm showing everything. So that being said, the LS was actually a success. Now what I'm currently dealing with is BMW components. Yeah, when you do an LS swap, take advice from me, man. Go GM all the way. So get your freaking LS swap, get a T56 or a TR6060, and just don't deal with adapter plates, man. Don't hurt yourself like what I did to myself. $3,800 down the drain, and those $3,800 isn't the money I'm currently using for my clutch kit. They actually gave me, I went from a Tilton triple disc 7.25 inch all the way to a single mass spec stage 3 plus clutch, and it's all right. They gave it to me just to make me to pretty much tell me shut the fuck up and like ride it, see how it does. And well, 88 miles after, I'm dealing with this problem again. So it's not the same problem as the other 2 clutches, but like I said, it might have to be somewhere with the master cylinder or throw out. I mean, it's a whole explanation I'll probably get to in a bit. But in here, let me just show you. For Michael Page's thing, you can still use the CAN bus setup, and literally all these gauges will work with your LS swap, and then you have your access port over there, and voila, you got yourself a, well, if you had factory interior still, then obviously you'll have yourself a neat little OEM spec inside instead of, you know, dealing with other components like any 240 SX that does a LS swap on theirs with the dash pros and all that. But yeah, this right here is my LS swap, and it's currently NA. It's actually the built motor that I was gonna put my Datsun 510 wagon, but the wagon's still in there in the shop. But I blew up two N54s, and I thought it was just time to go ahead and, well, LS swap this baby. So I LS swapped it, did all the lines for it, and of course with a lot of help from Michael Page, I was able to get this thing up and running pretty quickly. Took me a rough estimate of probably a month, and I mean, when I say a month, I mean I still have to go to work and everything, so I would say like a total of 8 full days, especially backed up on parts as well. But yeah, this LS swap went very straightforward. I'm still using BMW 335i CSF radiator with the fans, and it's connected onto the Terminator X Max engine, engine control system. So now the Holly controls the fans, if that's what I'm pretty much saying. And I'm also using the expansion tank for it, and OEM power steering from the BMW. I'm using it with Michael Page's LSC9X.com brackets, and alternator, of course, it's from an F body, I believe. So yeah, Plugged and Play has a lot of engine room and a lot of potential for, you know, future upgrades, especially with the turbo kit that I have sitting in my garage. So if you guys seen my Instagram, you guys probably seen my fat turbo that I've bought, and also my headers and everything that would accommodate this LS swap to make it, well, I was hoping for a goal of 4-digit horsepower, but we'll have to see. Got a lot of good looks today. I mean, I went to the San Mateo Cars and Coffee, and I mean, a lot of people actually adored the swap. People actually loved the car, so it, you know, giving me a little bit of that motivation that I just want to keep pushing forward and trying to get this running right. Oh, my arm's getting tired. You know, they saw it like this, and I mean, I like the hold now because they simply could see what's in there without me holding it with my hand. But also the Chevy badge and the freaking hood, I mean, this is badass. So people actually enjoyed looking at it. Everyone was hopping on it, I mean, it's something different, especially in California and the Bay Area. I mean, LS swaps are common, that's for sure. But E92 LS swap, I'm still here to figure out if I'm the only one. I mean, if I had another person that had it around here, I mean, shit, I would have became his best friend already. But fortunately, all my friends are still in 50 Ford. So yeah, so this, I already did the whole walkthrough, and now I'm here to explain to you what's currently happening. So for those that were on my Instagram, I mean, shouldn't say for those that were on my Instagram, because for those that don't have Instagram or actually hop onto here straight away when I make content and aren't on Instagram, well, let me explain to you something real quick. So this right here, I'm in the inside of my car in the driver's seat. I was driving this, just did this install literally 188 miles ago. It was driving fine for 2 days. 2 days before what happened, it was driving very good. I mean, braking procedure, I'm not romping on it and beating the hell out of it, especially with my PTSD now of having clutch failure. Kind of want to just do everything right, because the two that literally messed up, I mean, you know, doesn't sit well after a while. So in this case, clutch pedal was stock, felt normal, soft. I wasn't a big fan of it. I was like, oh, what is this, man? Like, it's very soft. I did not enjoy it. But the fact that it moved and it moved smooth and it was like good and ideal for, traffic and, road use, I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try and I'll enjoy it. Who knows? Maybe I'll just fall in love with it. Finally put mileage on here, go to track days, which is literally my damn goal, to go to track days before I even turbo this thing. But all right, so now water, man, makes a difference. So what's been going on is that, so when I drove it for 88 miles, I pressed in the clutch, and right away when I stopped by at Ryan's house, some weird grinding noises started hearing inside the bell housing right when I went all the way to the floor. And I didn't like it, obviously, so I backed out and I was like, what is that noise? So I kept doing it. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this thing was literally fine. I mean, the car, ran good amount of miles. So I was like, yeah, maybe it's just getting hot now and clutch lines, expanding or something, and gets air pockets in the system. The problem is that if that happens, usually you lose all clutch pedal feel or you get a weaker clutch pedal. And what's currently happening on this situation, clutch engagement is still soft, perfect, but when I go all the way to the floor, it hits something in the bell housing that just grinds very bad, like terrible. And so I dealt with it. I was like, you know what, I'm just trying to drive and enjoy the car. Like every guy says, just ignore the noise and see if it fixes later on. So that's what I just went with, kept driving it. And then as soon as I get to my friend's place, when I put it in gear, chattering happens, which you don't want to hear that when you disengage it. When you engage a clutch, you don't want to hear chattering in the clutch system, especially when you're trying to put it in gear and it's like it's just trying to move. So it's like, oh shit. So you hear all this weird grinding noises and that's happening. I'm just like, fuck, I mean, it's still movable. I'm able to drive it. So I was like, you know what? Leave it here for now. Have fun with my friends. When you say you have fun with your friends, it was just the worst day to deal with this, when you're going out with, friends and trying to join with them. Like, you being there with them instead of you being there with them, but your mind isn't there, like you're over here just thinking about what's going on here, but not what's going on with your friends and enjoying the time there. So that's what was going on with my mind. And so I stayed over at night because I was, San Mateo Cars and Coffee is nearby, and that's where I went to Cars and Coffee, and people admired the car, not knowing that this thing's literally falling apart again. So it's still drivable. As I wanted to show you guys, is if you go 3/4 of the way in, it's able to still shift and move, but as soon as you go more than 3/4, it's stuck. You see, it doesn't want to go all the way to the floor. It's like stuck. And now if I force it, whoo, you hear this horrendous screeching noise inside there, just like, and like doesn't sound too good. So in this case, now when I want to start up the car, you get that same noise, just the car struggling, because there's something putting pressure towards the flywheel. And in order for me to start up the car, I had to put this all the way to the floor, so I had to force it hard. And then of course the start is like, because it's trying to crank, but it detects force on there. And so as soon as it starts up, you hear this crazy rattling noise and you're like, all right, I'm gonna let off now. Now the problem is, as I kept driving, it started getting worse. So I finally get home, turn it off, and now the car doesn't want to turn off. Turn on. I think it's a clutch safety neutral switch. When you put the clutch pedal in, and then it detects, you have the clutch in, so you can start up the car. Well, in this case, in this case, it's not able to turn on anymore. So I don't know if my clutch pedal went out my clutch master slave went out, or my clutch master, I mean cylinder, went out, or my starter literally just fried itself because it just couldn't handle it. Who knows? I'm pretty sure if it was my starter out here at least a click, like trying to start up. But anyways, you guys, this is kind of what's been going on with my BMW. I mean, it's my third time, so for me actually carrying now, it's just, dude, it's like scars, dude. Like, you just get beat on so much that you're just like, fuck, dude, like I don't really give a shit no more, man. It's just so common that, I mean, I can't really throw a fit or anything. I don't really care. It's too much out of my control, you know. So it's rather just enjoy my day. I'm probably go eat, watch 007 or some shit. But yeah, it sucks that this happened. Obviously, you just gotta keep pushing forward and try to get this to work again. And there is options out there. Do want to give you guys a tip: don't try to get adapter plates. I know a lot of people do for certain vehicles, and my experience wasn't the best, honestly. And the amount of money I spent, honestly, I could have just got myself a T56 Magnum and easy done and full send, you know, because even GS6 trans are garbage. I mean, for those that are running power on them, obviously I ran power with them, but they're not the best gearing. And also, I mean, second gear lockout sucks on going on digs. But yeah, spend your money elsewhere. I got my products from Drift HQ, great guys and all, I guess. But pretty sure I lost that money, dude. Can't get a refund, even though they gave me, these parts aren't working right. And their PMCs install kits garbage too. I mean, everyone complains how you can't find how to install it properly. They don't have step-by-step process. You just look at two pictures, one that says cut a guide tube or don't cut a guide tube, and then the length to this dimension. You don't find torque specs, none of that bullshit. You don't find which bolts go to. It's just so badly organized, man. For a company that sells so much money, like, you know, for a company that gets so much money, you'd expect, like, all right, let's download a PDF or make a PDF file or make copies, put it in the package and ship it out. Then obviously make people's lives easier. I myself don't consider myself to be an idiot. I mean, I had auto school. I did my ASC certificates. So for me to deal with this, I mean, it kind of questions me if I'm a dumbass, but I've done everything right. I even hit up other people and say what they went through, and they say they did the same thing. And I just keep dealing with this, dude. The cursed GS6, I would say. But LS swap, definitely keep an LS, dude. I never had problems with it whatsoever. I think it's amazing. It's fun, rips hard, makes good NA power, I guess, for what it is. A little 5.3, and yeah, lower compression piston for its build block, all the good shit. But yeah, that's pretty much what I want to talk about, you guys. If you guys enjoy the color or the looks of my Beamer, thank you, appreciate it. I put a lot of work onto this thing, and also appreciate the fact that people admired it at the San Mateo Cars and Coffee, man. Thank you so much. There was this one guy though, oh my god, bro, I don't know if he had attitude or something, but I did you know, my hood has this big ass hole in it, and my manifold is low plane, and he came up to me and he's like, hey man, you have this big ass hole? And I was like, yeah, because I had this high ram on it. He's like, well, why don't you put the high ram back into it? And I was like, nah, I want to, you know, be subtle, you know, stealth, don't want to be sticking out. It's like, but now you have this hole, like, you should just, you know, put the high ram back in there. And I forgot the whole story, but it led to him just being like upset that I have a hole in my hood. And so I gotta hit up Ellie and see what it was. But let me try to remember. So he came up to me and he was like, hey man, you have a hole in your hood? And I was like, yeah dude, like, Yeah, man, I had a high ram. He's like, well, why don't you put the high ram back in? That's exactly what I was like, why don't you put the high ram back in? The hole looks hella ugly like that. And I was like, well, dude, I just put the mid-rise one, that way it's low profile. And he started giving me shit. And I was like, he's like, well, now you have a hole there, like it just looks terrible like that. And I was like, and then I just kind of flexed on him, you know. I was like, hey man, I already ordered carbon fiber hood. He's like, oh, you did? I was like, yeah, man. Like, fuck, broke boy, what the fuck, fucking bitch boy, what the fuck, God, man. But people, dude, swear to God, it's crazy. The most I give, the people I give the most hate are the ones that are always to be remembered. That is the one thing I noticed. People could be nice as fuck to you, but the people that get embedded into your brain are the people that say the worst shit to you. Because obviously you always expect good shit out from what you do. So it wasn't too bad. I mean, it's not normal. It's the usual. I've dealt with it with the Mustang too, and you just kind of get them more pissed off, but just by like trolling their ass. But anyways, yeah. So I drove around, put some good mileage, checked that my fuel gauge works, and everything's going great. So yeah, you guys, take care and stay boosted.